Colm and Lucy Podcast with Colm Hayes and Lucy Kennedy.
From Nova.ie and Radio Nova.
Hello, is this on? Oh, it is. I do that as a joke. It is the Colm and Lucy Podcast special. Welcome along, folks, for another enthralling roller coaster ride of excitement, entertainment, controversy, and a lot of stuff that nobody understands. We're going to have jokes in the car. We have a good news segment. We also go to the movies. The movie is The Secret Garden. We talk about mink. Yes, mink, the little furry animal. And we have a little call about mink, a follow-up call as well. We talk about Chris, who appeared in a movie in Spain. Also, Joanne McNally, very funny girl. She's been on the Jonathan Ross comedy show. We speak to her. In fact, we have a lot of Joanne McNally, if you know what I mean, coming up.
Your wife's ringing, Colm.
My wife's ringing. I have to go. Goodbye.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Our next guest recently appeared on the Jonathan Ross show to perform stand-up comedy in front of a socially distanced and masked audience, and she broke the internet. She's now back in Ireland, and like the rest of us, she's enjoying a lockdown too, or is she? Irish comedy queen Joanne McNally, welcome to the show. Hey! We were
Corona Clint, right? That
Corona Clint, that's me.
We call him Clinton Quarantino.
Clinton Quarantino, brilliant. How are you guys?
We're good. We're really good. I mean, we're here every day and have been for the last couple of months. Lucy is in our house, but she's also filming this weekend. But tell me first, the Jonathan Ross, I was watching it. That was really good.
Thank you. Before we get into that, can I just say something? Right?
Yes, you can. You run this interview, girl.
Brilliant. Do you want to know what films I've walked out of?
Oh yes. Go on.
Okay. So,
oh, she's got a list.
A list?
Yeah. And I'm very lazy. Like, I won't move unless completely necessary. But I'm also kind of impatient. Like, I can't bear, if when something's just painful.
Yeah.
Being John Malkovich.
Oh, I like that movie.
I like that one too, I'm sorry.
I think I was a bit young and it was a bit surreal for me. But
Right.
I remember just thinking, like, I walked out of the cinema in Dún Laoghaire. Right?
Okay.
With the full thing of popcorn. So, like, I hadn't even, I don't know, I'd say I'd given it, I used to do the whole, when you pour minstrels into popcorn.
Yeah.
I walked out of Wicked, the musical in London.
That's what?
You would have paid a lot for those tickets as well.
Dire.
How much did you pay for the tickets?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But it wasn't, I was like, I don't care if I paid $1,000. But when you're like, there's no point. I'm in pain watching this. Like, I can't believe how bad it is. And no one else I speak to agrees with me. I don't know what. And it wasn't even like I was at a matinee. I went to the Tina Turner musical, which was fantastic.
That is brilliant.
Okay. And
that was a matinee. And sometimes matinees can be lower energy. You know, 'cause it's kind of an older crowd and blah, blah, blah. So, another thing I walked out of.
Oh, no.
Now that I say it, I've been on the move. I've really been on the move. Kinky Boots. You know Kinky Boots?
You walked out of that.
Hang on.
I'm so happy.
You've walked out of great stuff, right? So, you know what I mean? I mean, you walked out of The Godfather 2, the best movie ever. I don't like these Italians.
What a load of there was. Do you know what else I walked out of?
Oh, God.
Fear. I know, but I was so scared.
What a scary date you would be.
What'd you say?
What a scary date you would be. You're just walking out all the time.
I'd be a great date because I'd be like, let's just leave and fool around in the car park. I'd be a great date.
True.
The other thing I walked out of, and I say walked out, I was a child. I ran into the garden. It gave me nightmares for years. Can you guess?
It.
Children's film. No. I do remember watching it as a young teenager.
The Wizard of Oz.
Sits close.
Chocolate.
Charlie
Willy Wonka thing.
Yeah. Absolutely terrifying.
Really?
When your man goes up the chocolate pipe.
Which is a euphemism.
It's not a euphemism.
That was when I liked it. And I remember then, do you remember the Rainbow Rapids down in Dún Laoghaire?
Yeah.
I couldn't go on the Rainbow Rapids years after because I was so scared that I'd get stuck in them because of that film. That film is terrifying for a child. It's like
traumatized
like that, yeah.
Listen, firstly, Jonathan Ross, how did you get the call? Yeah. Who rings? What goes on there? How do you get it?
Jonathan just rang me. No, he didn't. It just comes through we're with the same agency.
Right,
although
okay.
I don't think that really matters, to be honest. I think they were just kind of looking for like in inverted commas up and coming or whatever,
right,
you know.
Okay.
And people who were kind of doing the clubs, people who the actual, I think the mission statement for the show is people who maybe would have advanced a bit further this year were it not for Corona.
Right.
That was kind of
Okay.
trying to give
Good
a
way
bit
to
of a
put it.
leg up.
People who missed out.
It was a pity gig. It was a pity gig.
So it's like a sympathy gig, is it?
Yeah, it was a sympathy gig. So it was great to get it. It's a weird time to start doing stand up on telly because there's no audiences. Like, as in the audience is very limited, and comedy is one of those weird collaborative experiences where it does rely on certain things in the audience,
I mean, it's like we're watching football at the moment and Sky Sports put on the noise of the crowd because otherwise
so
it's like,
weird.
So it's like that. And then
I did say to the Jonathan people, I was like, I assume you're going to put on fake laughter here because there's like 7 people in the audience. He's like, absolutely.
Did you meet Jonathan?
Brilliant.
Did you meet Jonathan?
Yeah, he's predictably sound.
Okay, yeah, you can imagine.
Trying to get the vibe. Do you know when you just kind of can tell of people if they're sound, and he is very, very sound.
Right, so he doesn't have his people all around him or anything. He's approachable.
Oh, completely approachable. Dripping in vintage Gucci, I'd say.
Of course he is, yeah.
£10 billion.
Gucci underpants, probably. So we were just looking at your schedule.
Time.
We were looking at your schedule. You should have been playing a sold-out gig last night in Kildare.
Yeah, well, I mean, the tragedy for me is I was supposed to do 2 Vicar Streets in
oh God,
April.
yeah, I remember we were talking about that. Yeah.
Because those gigs that you're talking about there were kind of, I had tried to put on socially distanced gigs, like 50 people in each venue, but I was running it like a panto. I booked to do like 3 shows a day in some of the venues to try and get more people through the door. But so I got 2 gigs in. I got 2 towns in. I got 2 cities. I got Wexford and I got Limerick in.
Okay.
But then then we went into level 12 lockdown, so everything got pulled, and then we were talking about rescheduling them, and I was like, I just don't have the heart at the moment because I'm sick of cancelling stuff and rescheduling stuff. I think I'm just going to leave the live stuff for the moment, but there's still stuff going on in the UK, which is good. Some of the clubs are still open over there, so I have been able to gig when I was in London, which is great because you worry that you'll it's like a muscle,
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
Exactly. Well, it is like, I guess it is like riding a bike. It is like riding a bike.
You can forget how to be funny.
To a crowd of drunk people. Yeah, it is like riding a bike.
Yeah, or you can be funny but keep falling off. The punchline, just not getting it right. Yeah.
I blame them. Yeah.
So do you walk around being funny to mirrors and people in shops? Michael McIntyre was saying he's following people around and telling them jokes.
Yeah, there's that whole thing when the light comes on in the fridge, I do 10 minutes. You do miss it, you do. Like, I get, a lot of people are the same. You get so tied up in your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you wonder when that goes, you're like, oh my God, what am I? I'm like an avatar, but it'll come back. I just have to kind of diversify. So I'm doing a new panel show for RT. There's a new comedy panel show we're filming it in November. I think it's going to air in December. So that's actually why I'm back still. I came back for the mini tour that was cancelled, and then obviously with the quarantining and stuff, I'm staying here now to film the panel show. So that'll be good crack.
That should be good. Will you stay with us for a few minutes? Have you anywhere to go?
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
We are chatting to comedian Joan McNally.
What are you doing?
Has anyone ever called you Joan?
Are you rebranding me? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Trying to give me a second chance at life.
Joanne McMartin.
I was named after my Auntie Joan. That's why my name's Joanne.
Ah, right. Okay. So you've got a podcast coming up.
Yes, it's called We Solve Nothing. It's with me and Muireann O'Connell. So we're kind of recording a couple of them at the moment, and I think we're going to start releasing them next week.
And is it exactly what it says on the tin, that you just go on and solve nothing? So are you given something to solve, like split an atom, and at the end you just drink Prosecco?
Yeah, I mean, that's very on brand. Well, the last bit.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But yeah, so it's just us talking nonsense. Do you know that kind of way, like taking something that happened, like we were talking about Adele's weight loss, or like what gaslighting means, and then just kind of, we solve nothing. We thought got us off the hook, so we're not under any... we don't have to actually give any solutions, basically.
There's a great podcast. I don't know. Have you heard the Serial Killer podcast? The 2 girls that... So each week...
My favourite murder.
Yeah. Yes. So it's amazing, isn't it? Each week they talk about a murder, but they don't. They bring in cupcakes and they chat about their Auntie Joan and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. And somewhere in the mix, then they talk about this killer or this murder, and then off they go somewhere else. Oh, it's brilliant. And what about, like, socially distanced gigs or...
Nothing here. Like
one-on-one gigs, so you could ring somebody and just do a gig to them.
Well, I have a couple of Zoom.
Like pimp yourself out.
Parties. I do. Like I'm doing a couple of Zoom Christmas parties.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah, which are like, they can be, they can work or not work, but whatever. But I'm assuming that if we're in 6 weeks lockdown now, that in January we'll be open to kind of run around a bit. So I run around. You reckon?
You should be actually at the Department of Health. You should be there going, look, we'll be open to run around a bit.
Run around.
Yeah,
we'll be mincing in January. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, we'd like to think so. Hopefully. Okay, look, just before we let you go, we're going to do the last 5 questions you'll ever be asked. We always enjoy doing this with our guests, especially in lockdown, because people have too much time in their hands. Here we go. Joanne McNally, the last movie you watched?
The Holiday.
The Holiday?
Oh, you watched it?
With Cameron Diaz.
Oh, no,
the other one.
The other one. Oh, right, The Holiday.
I needed a bit of comfort telly, so I watched that. It's awful. Very bad. Didn't even finish it.
Did you walk out in it?
I walked out of my room, yeah. Slammed down the laptop. Okay. Disgusted.
What's the last takeaway you ate?
It would always be Camille.
Okay.
Chicken and cashew nut brown rice.
Simple.
Incredibly
effective.
boring.
Simple but effective and good for the movements.
Yeah.
What time did you go to bed at last night?
10.
10? Oh. Wow.
10 p.m. into the lab, at 10 p.m. into the bed. I'd say it was 11:45, lights out.
Okay. Would you have the phone in the bed with you?
I sleep with the phone. It's my partner.
Yeah.
I massage the phone at night, rub it.
It's not good.
But I am trying to get better at switch. I put it on airplane mode at about 10. That's the plan. And then I try not to switch it on again until after I've had coffee and stuff. I am trying.
Okay.
Because it gave me my screen time recently. I thought it was a phone number. It just went on for hours. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it can be scary.
I think I really need to pull this back.
When's the last time you wore a hat, Joanne McNally?
Ooh, I was actually gifted a gorgeous Joanne Hines hat the other day.
Who? Sorry,
I wore
who?
it today and now I can't find.
Whose hat?
Joanne Hines. Joanne. she's a designer. She's an Irish designer. So she sent me a hat and I wore it for the day and now I can't find it.
Oh no!
What do they call hat designers?
Milliners.
Milliners, yeah. Okay.
No, she's not a milliner. She's she's the kind of a janitor. She's got a huge line in Duns. But anyway, the hat will resurface and I'll wear it again. I'm not against wearing a hat. I like a nice baseball cap when I go walking. Protect my face.
And Joanne McNally, when's the last time you cried?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's probably a while ago now. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I do. There was a time where I was probably, the lockdown levels got to me and I was crying. Oh, do you know when I cried?
Go on.
Fungi. When Fungi.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw this little picture that this kid did and it said, Fungi, come home. And I was like, Yeah. And it was a lockdown. It was kind of a straw that broke the camel's back moment.
We were talking to Jimmy Flannery, and he's a bloke that has seen Fungi every day for the last 35 years. We had him on a couple of weeks ago. People were texting in; they were in tears because
I know.
Jimmy was like he's just lost his mum.
I know.
It was really, really sad. Hopefully, Fungi, come home. Come on. Stop messing.
The idea that this little child thought that Kerry Town was like his home. I was like, oh my God, it's too much. It's too much.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I didn't bawl or anything there. Come on.
Okay.
Look
at you. Okay, Joanne McNally, great catching up with you. Take care. Yeah, stay safe, and we'll listen out for the podcast. Is there a time or a date when it's coming out? Do you know yet?
No, I'm so unaware. Next week.
Sometime.
That's a total lie.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Colm and Lucy, live from Nova Town. Here we go. With the jokes in the car. Jokes in the car, that's where they are. Fantastic. Just before everyone goes into school, thank you for sending all these jokes in.
Loads today.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, William happened from Clondalkin, aged 10. Why didn't the shrimp share its treasure? Because it was shellfish.
Aha! Hey, he does his.
Hey.
He has his own drum kit as well, which is amazing.
Oh my God, that guy is ready for the stage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. We got another little joke here now. Have a listen.
Why the cat? was in the sky because I helicopter.
No, tough to understand, but that is a 3-year-old stand-up comedian. Yes, she's 3 years of age.
Ewan.
Ewan O'Carroll.
Cute.
Ewan, that is amazing. Okay. We got one more to finish up with. And thanks, everybody. If you're not in school yet, 0871818 text us or WhatsApp us. Little WhatsApp audio. Here's the final one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Yay! I love it. Keep them coming in. 0871818 text us or WhatsApp us with your joke. WhatsApp is the best way. Little audio. We love to hear the little voices. Okay. Here's a quick little joke. Okay.
My favourite word starts with an S and ends with ECK. What is it? Fire truck. What else was I meant to say?
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
I now hand you over to our executive radio producer, Clint Treberg, who said, Colm, can you get the very, very sad music out?
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Inappropriate gags.
Yeah.
Not at this time, Lucy. This
Always.
is a very
No.
sad,
Okay.
serious time.
Okay.
For many reasons.
Who's dead? Oh, yeah.
For me, well,
Oh.
wait, Lucy, wait.
Oh, no.
If there's sensitive ears, perhaps turn them away.
Oh, is this really rough?
Well, for several reasons. I didn't know what this thing was.
Okay.
Until I received this telegram from David Mitchell
Right.
in Mountjoy Square.
Okay.
Denmark.
Yeah.
A country we love
Yes,
and
we
know.
do.
I've been there recently.
Like
we talked to my friend Heather. Remember at the start of lockdown?
I do remember Heather.
Yeah.
And I like their pastries.
Copenhagen, lovely city.
Yeah.
They are set to cull up to 17 million. 17 million. Just think of that number, right?
17 million. I know this.
Mink.
Yes, I read this.
Mink. I must be stupid,
Mink?
but I never knew what a mink actually was.
As in like a ferret.
Yes.
Like a ferret, Lucy.
As in, wait, they
like a
used to make-
weasel, like a ferret.
Nobody wants a ferret up their trousers.
No,
Yeah.
but you don't want a mink in Denmark, clearly. They're getting rid of 17 million of them.
Just one question I need to ask,
Yes.
just before you
Why?
go forward.
Oh, yes.
Why do they still have mink? Why are they still farming mink? Because mink used to be farmed for the fur.
Yes, but I think they like the minks now.
Ladies who had a fur coat would have a mink fur.
Ask the Danish what they're doing with them. Anyway,
Okay.
why are they killing these poor little minks? 17 million of them.
I know why.
A mutation of the coronavirus
Yes,
has been found to spread from the animal, from the mink,
Yeah.
to humans.
Mink?
So they're getting rid of the mink because they're worried about this new virus strain of the corona. Like up to 12 people can be infected from one mink.
From one mink? From a mink?
Now this
For our
is
smaller ears listening, just so you know, that they're put to sleep.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so they did it.
Oh, also, there are no mink in Ireland.
There's no mink here.
There's no mink in Ireland.
But this is why this is. Did you know? I like Colm, was blindly unaware that there would be so many mink still around.
Are they used for something else?
I don't know.
God, I remember my Aunt Peggy having a mink fur coat. Now, that
Peggy.
Peggy.
Naughty Peggy.
Hang on a second. I was a little
Is Peggy
lad.
the one that I look like?
Yes. Yes. I was a little lad. This was the 60s, you know what I mean? And she used to have the little mink around with the toes. Do you remember it was called a stole, wasn't it, when you had it around your neck?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
quite the scarf, but yeah.
I think back in the olden days, everyone wore fur. It's so wrong.
Yeah, totally,
you
absolutely.
think back.
Yeah, but
And
we
in
did-
more horrific part of the story.
Easy now, easy.
No.
The love of peace.
No, but this is
For the
Look
love
at
of,
my
for the
face,
love
look
of
at my face.
mink. Love of
Does
mink.
this look?
No,
does
but
this
listen,
look
listen,
like a
listen.
happy face?
But I'm trying to get to the point. Like,
I'm worried about Lucy's children.
okay, 783 cases of coronavirus in northern Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, invited
Yeah.
Debbie
No,
down.
but listen.
Yeah, go on.
half of the 783 coronavirus cases can be directly related
To a mink.
back to the mink.
So it's no longer the bat. We're now blaming the mink.
Well, maybe down in Asia it is, but in Denmark,
Jump
in northern
across,
Denmark
yeah.
in particular, where the mink column, sadly, looking into it, I think they are still making the old mink coats up there.
I would have thought Denmark was such a liberal,
No.
socially conscious society.
No.
Like, who would buy a fur
Well, the
coat
Danish,
now?
clearly.
No, I don't.
Can we talk about the music? I don't know whether I'm at a temple somewhere or I'm just a bit confused.
It's very sad music. It's music.
And the winner,
It's not
Ireland's
that.
Got Talent.
No, listen. Shh. Everyone listen. This is sad music. Listen. Now, that is sad.
Now, spend a moment
well,
thinking of the
of
mink
course.
today.
Yeah.
Because, look, it's not only in Denmark,
Trying
can
to
I
think
say?
about the mink.
But listen, that one little mink, Lucy, 1 million mink have already been culled also in the Netherlands and Spain. And Spain. They have mink in Spain.
I just don't really know what you want me to do with
Well,
this
I want a
information.
campaign, Lucy. I want a campaign.
Somebody just texted in to say there are plenty
First of all, campaign to get a new studio.
Yeah,
and then we'll do the mink.
there are plenty of mink in Ireland.
Is there?
I nearly got bitten by one as a lad.
But is that a ferret or a mink?
Yeah. I don't know.
Could he be confused with a ferret?
Or did he get bitten in the mink?
I like the nearly. I like the nearly
Yeah,
bit of
where's
that
nearly?
story. We need to hear what happened.
Okay, we'll try and find out how you can nearly get bitten by the mink or in the mink.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Good morning, good morning.
Earlier in the show, I brought the sad news to the table that Denmark is to cull its mink population. Mink! I didn't even know there was a thing like a mink still around in
Anymore.
the world.
Yeah.
They have 17 million of them in Denmark.
Jeez.
And they're trying to get rid of them all, sadly, because coronavirus is spreading amongst the mink.
The mink
and then
population.
from the mink to the human. There's a case of 783 cases in northern Denmark of coronavirus that they have tracked back half of those cases to the mink.
To the mink.
So they're getting rid of them. They're getting rid of them in all countries, like from the Netherlands. Spain has mink. The US has mink. And I was shocked to know that there's mink in Ireland. We got one Facebook message saying, I'm not a fan of minks after having the misfortune of being first on the scene in my granny's hen house in Mayo years ago after a mink had got into it during the night. Horrific scene, she said. And we've got Dave on the line, who's actually a bit of a wildlife photographer. Dave, good morning.
Oh, Dave, good morning.
Dave, good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Not too bad.
Dave, is your surname Attenborough, just to check?
No, unfortunately not.
Dave Attenborough, the lesser known.
Dave, please continue.
Dave, tell me this. So are there mink in the wild?
Yes, mostly see them along riverbanks.
And are they indigenous to Ireland, or have these all escaped from a farm?
They've all escaped. They were brought in from America, I think, for the fur trade.
Right.
And they had I think it was in Cavan, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But they escaped over 50 years ago, and they've been in the wild ever since.
That's mad. They broke out. They probably built a tunnel or went over the wire or whatever, but all these mink escaped. And are they of the family of, are they in the pine, marten, ferret family? Is that it?
The rat.
I'm not sure about that, but they are actually, they're very, they can be mistaken for an otter going through the water.
An otter, okay.
Are they rodents?
They probably are, yes.
Yeah. And Dave, you have photos of mink, yeah?
Yeah, some I got in Wicklow last year.
Oh,
Right.
last year.
Now, some people have said that they've almost been bitten by a mink. Have you found them unruly?
No, I've been very, very close to them, and they don't seem to bother. They just they go about their own business.
They like
Do
other
Do you
things
find
other
it
than
sad,
humans.
Dave? Do you find it sad
Sorry?
that the Danish are culling them?
Well, I think any sort of culling is sad, but it's got to be done.
Yeah.
Well, it is passing
It's
across.
got to be done.
And are they bad for the rest? You know the way when we introduce a new sort of species into Ireland, if they're not indigenous, they can be dangerous. Like I'm just thinking of the grey squirrel. Are they are they dangerous for any of our own home animals?
Of course, yeah. Anything that's introduced upsets the ecosystem, so they shouldn't be. They have their own way in their own natural habitat. So once it's introduced, it has a knock-on effect.
All right, man. Well, look, they're out there in the wild as well around Wicklow. We'll keep an eye out for them. Just to say that somebody did text in as well saying that there's a mink farm, and I can't confirm this, but I presume there's some in Ireland. There's a mink farm in Vickerstown.
Wow.
Where's Vickerstown?
Vickerstown, I think, is in North County Dublin. And mink, the reason
Away.
the reason there's so many mink farms, it's not for mink fur anymore, so there's no fur coats. It's for eyelashes. So, ladies, your false eyelashes are made out of mink eyelashes.
Not all of them, Hazy.
No, not all of them. Sorry,
We have
not
to
all of them.
stress this.
Yes.
Like you can specifically buy mink lashes that you have to pay quite a few quid for.
I never
Otherwise,
realised that.
It's all not polyester. What's the other stuff?
Well, it's yeah.
Hang on, so is it the mink's actual eyelashes or just the fur?
I don't know if I'm
Oh,
honest.
my
I'm gonna
God.
guess that it's fur.
No, I think
No.
It's the eyelashes.
I think it's the eyelashes.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think so, Hazy.
Okay, I was Googling there online, and I don't always trust Google, obviously. but there was some saying that they're not killed, they're not for their eyelashes, but they are removed. And the minks.
Once they're in heaven.
There's a text in there too, Colm.
Okay, there was a large mink farm in Concealy on the road past the quarry heading towards Swords when I was younger. We used to always have to pull up the windows because of the smell.
Oh, God.
Smell of mink. There's a smell of mink off you.
Jeez.
Wow, bang a mink off you.
So look, I don't know about I just saw it there, so I don't know about the eyelashes, so I'm not going to, unless...
Let's not look into that.
Yeah, so if somebody can actually...
Show us their eyelashes.
Not show us their eyelashes, just sort of clarify, because I don't want to be walking into territory.
Anyway, sorry to bring the tone
You know me
down.
and false eyelashes,
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
But anyway, that's interesting. Anyway.
Just what a crazy story. Who knew there were 17 million up there in Denmark? And who knew they were spreading coronavirus? And who knew they have to get rid of them? It's just such a sad story.
Wow. Sorry, just a quick text just come in just to clarify. Vickerstown is along the canal a few miles outside Athy, so it's in County.
No way. I have never, ever heard of there.
I've heard of Vickerstown, but I just didn't. I've heard of Vicker Street and I've heard of Vickerstown. I just wasn't sure where it was.
I know what a vicar is.
Well, we all know what a vicar is, and we all know the joke.
What's the joke?
Well, there's always the jokes, with like the vicar and tarts. It's like what you dress up for in Halloween and everything. So it's
not a joke.
Well, I'm not doing the joke. It's too bloody early for the joke.
Early? Rude.
Okay. Stay with us still to come. We're going to the movies. If you've got anything on the eyelashes, I really would love to know. Text us or WhatsApp us.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
It's okay. You had me at hello. Do you remember the movie? Jerry Maguire, Bruce Springsteen. He was contracted to write that song for the movie on the basis that he would never release it on an album and it could only appear on the soundtrack. And you will get it on one of his greatest hits albums, but they didn't because they wanted to sell the soundtrack and they knew Bruce Springsteen would sell the soundtrack. But the agreement was, I think they paid him close to $1 million for it, right? But please, you cannot release it on any of your own personal albums. That was the agreement. There was something else about it. Wow. He's never really performed it, has he?
He's only performed it a couple of times. 3 times, in fact, in New York in 1995.
Right.
One time on the reunion tour in 2000. And in Brisbane, in my little Australia in 2017. Yeah. There's you can count it on one hand how many times he's done this song.
He's performed it live. Yeah.
And he's on our radio station, 7 o'clock tonight, the Bruce Springsteen radio show from my home to yours.
And that was Secret Garden from Jerry Maguire.
Story with Bruce. Is he going to fly over for the Christmas party?
Well, no, he's preferred to Zoom, but I think the trade-off, Lucy, as we've discussed, and we have to talk to your agent, he's happy to welcome you into his house for a bit of living with Lucy action.
Living with Brucey.
Living with Brucey.
You have to quarantine, though, for 2 weeks with Brucey.
Well, hopefully, and again, and people will love this, listeners will love this, hopefully he is going to dress up as Santa for the staff party and hand out the gifts.
Virtually.
Yeah, virtually. So, I'm Bruce Springsteen, here's something for Lucy.
Oh, that's so nice that Brucey's doing that.
I know.
That was obviously part of his contract.
Yeah, it is part of his contract. Let's go to the movies.
Like mine is to wear leather.
Wow.
Okay. Be honest. Don, if you're listening, I am improving.
So, going to the movies is, of course, brought to you by Manhattan Popcorn, Ireland's favourite popcorn, manhattan.ie, and over to our man at the movies now, Clint.
Hope that wasn't part of the contract negotiations anyway.
Hope not, yeah.
The Secret Garden is where we're going to today. This is available now on your Sky platform, so if you've got Sky at home, you can buy a little movie pass and watch this. You can buy a movie pass if you've got Virgin Media as well. You can get this anyway you get your streaming services.
Okay.
It was supposed to be in the cinemas last week, I think, sadly, of course. Cinemas are closed now. Even in the UK, cinemas are now closed.
Yeah.
It's from the producers of Harry Potter and Paddington, the most recent version of Paddington.
Okay.
So it's quite magical, this. The adventure based on the timeless story. We've all heard it before about the Secret Garden. There's been a couple of movies already. There was a TV show and, of course, the ancient book that it's based on from 1911 when I was looking up this book.
I remember.
Francis Burnett. Here's a little taste of the Secret Garden.
Shall I tell you a story? It's the story of an orphan girl who was sent to live in a mysterious house.
Don't expect luxury. Misselthwaite is not the place it was.
And what if I were to tell you she discovered something magical? Something secret.
Now, whose voice did you hear there, Lucy? Colm, any guesses?
Oh, hang on, sorry,
Watson?
Lucy. Who?
Emma Watson.
Bow.
I definitely got Olivia Colman.
Bow.
She's in everything.
But she's not in this.
That was her voice.
That wasn't Olivia Colman's voice.
Was it not?
I told you,
Give us a clue.
bow.
Give us a
Oh,
clue.
sorry, that's your
That's
ba-bow,
his
is it?
That's not a correct
Give us a clue.
sound.
It was quite happy. Ba-bow, ba-bow.
Oh, jeez.
Lucy Kennedy, Glenagiri.
Yes,
Give
yes.
us a clue.
JW.
Jenny Watson.
Jordan White.
Jack Whitehall.
Jennifer. Windsor.
You're both stupid.
Thank you.
Okay, well, just give us. Okay, go on.
Star of Mamma Mia. Star
Pierce
of...
Brosnan. Oh, jeez. I don't know her. I can't remember her name. Oh, yeah, but it's
Yeah, you know her face.
Meryl Streep.
No.
Oh.
JW.
Oh, the blonde.
Yeah. Name as? This is
Julie
Walters.
Yeah.
Thank you, Texter.
Yeah, you cheated there.
wasn't
Dame
texting,
Julie
wasn't
Walters.
Julie Walters. Sounds like Olivia Colman. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't really. Anyway, she...
Sounds just like nothing like her.
She's the grumpy lady in the house in this film. Colin Firth appears as well.
He was in Mamma Mia as well.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, so now, but sadly, not a lot of Colin in this, but a little bit of Colin. And the lovely little girl, Mary Lennox, is played by Dixie Edgertix. And I got to say, it took a while to warm up, but being from the producers of Harry Potter and Paddington, this is so magical. You literally are transported to the Secret Garden.
Okay.
I just felt for kids, Lucy, and I know yours can't sit still, they probably won't last the half an hour it takes to get to the magical Secret Garden. You know what I mean?
Jack Wood. Holly
Jack
and
Wood.
Jess,
But this is
forget
probably more for your Holly and your Jess. You
Funny
know?
that even I remember my Holly. Great movies were movies that started within 10 minutes.
Bang into
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
rather than all this, what's happening,
They're not into the build-up.
Yeah.
Like, it took a while for the little girl to get to the scary house, and then it took a while for her to find what the Secret Garden is, you know. Like I said, it was a good half an hour before we got to the... And it is magical once you get there. The good thing about it, though, the good thing about it is because you're at home and you're getting this on your Sky, on your Sky platform, you can fast forward.
Yeah, or pause it, go out and get something.
And get to the good bit, because once it gets there, it is beautiful. The little doggy in this too. Oh, I fell in love. I want a dog.
Okay.
After this as well.
We've all got dogs are soon to be getting.
Well, I might have to join the club now. So it's streaming now on Now TV or via the Sky Cinema Pass. It should have been in the cinema because it is just so beautiful. But it is a good thing to put the kids in front of. You'll learn a lot. You'll escape a little bit as well, which is all that we want at this time. But because of that little extra half an hour that it could have fast-forwarded through, I'm going 3.5 stars.
3.5. Do you know, I often think would it be worth a practice to get an 11 or 12-year-old to sit down and edit a movie?
Yes.
Because they'd actually go, nah. You know the way they take no, don't get rid of that. Oh, now it's happening.
Brutal. Yeah, it'd be brutal, yeah.
It would be brutal in that.
Yeah.
Just to say, Fanula watched Secret Garden.
Oh, Fanula. What do you think?
She said it was so beautiful. It was so lovely. Okay.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
The Colm and Lucy Good News Session.
Okay, just before we go, folks. Now, I want to keep mine last because I think I have the best news for all the ladies of Ireland.
Oh.
Okay. I think what I'm going to bring could actually cause panic, stampedes, riots amongst all the ladies of Ireland. Amongst Manon Heron. So,
new tights.
Yeah. No, it's nothing to do with my new tights. I will keep stum till I bring it to you at the very end because it will cause panic in the streets.
Yes, we don't want that. So ladies first,
my
Lucy.
good news, thank you. My good news is of a personal variety.
Oh, here we go.
It's nothing to do with my parts.
Okay.
Or anybody's whim-whams.
Yeah, okay.
It is that we have been talking about getting a doggy.
Yes, you have.
For the last 3 years.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've done a lot of work over the years with Dogs Trust and other charities. And as you guys know, I'm 110% behind Adopt, Don't Shop. Yeah. And I don't see why people are still buying dogs when you can easily help charities who are packed full of beautiful doggies and puppies. And it looks like we might be able to get a doggy in the new year. So that's our good news, because we are currently renting.
Yes.
So that wasn't an option to get a doggy. And obviously I have asthma, as does Holly. So we had to kind of hold out, I suppose.
For a cure?
And, no, not for a cure, but just for the right doggy for our family. And that we are the right family for a doggy. And there is a little puppy, I think, going to be ours in the new year. So it is really good news for our family, because if I had my way, I would have all the dogs in the world.
Have you told your children that there's one on the way?
Yes.
And have you shown them any pictures?
I showed them pictures and I burst out crying. I don't know why, because we've waited so long for a puppy, and the fact that we can rescue a little puppy, you know, and do something good and highlight it and add to our little family. I burst out crying and Jack said, "Mummy, you really have to stop this."
Yeah.
Because I do cry a lot.
You're sort of getting emotional now. There's a hint of emotion as well.
Yeah, that is my good news. We're so excited. We've waited a long time.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I mean, you know, I would give Holly and Alex away and keep Rocky, because he is just the best in the entire world. They are brilliant. He's 12 now. I'll tell you, and he's family, 100%.
Rocky's beautiful.
I'll
tell you more about our puppy, guys. I just don't want to jinx us, but I'll tell you more when we know that everything is definitely happening. But it's looking good, and I'll give you all the details. And the puppy, one of the puppies, has 7 brothers and sisters, so there's plenty for everybody, and we can share. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, good news there from a slightly emotional Lucy Kennedy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Clint?
Oh, would you like mine?
Yeah, will we squeeze yours in as well?
Well, a small study is suggesting that magic mushrooms can help cure depression.
Hey!
Now we're talking.
I laugh at this because magic mushrooms, they're a hallucinogenic.
They are hallucinogenic,
And, well, of course, they can help you cure depression at the time.
Yeah,
but
not after.
Well, hang on. This is interesting. So John Hopkins Medicine did a survey of 23 people high on their heads of magic mushrooms.
Met a few of them in days.
After 4 weeks following up with the magic mushroom lads and ladies, 71% reduced symptoms of sadness and pessimism 4.5 weeks later.
There you go.
After the magic mushroom. So much so, Oregon is the first state in America looking to legalise magic mushrooms as a result of this survey.
There you go.
There's an incentive to move there.
Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? I remember years ago in college, and that's all. And I'll leave the story there.
We're glad you just remember.
Hey, finally, I bring you news. Ladies.
Yes, we're all waiting.
Ladies of Ireland. This could be the best news ever.
Okay, we're sitting down.
Because Chief Executive George Weston of Pennies, easy, has said that when level 5 lockdown is over,
yes, quickly, yes,
between December and the end of December,
hurry up.
He's hoping to open up Pennies 24 hours a day!
Oh, thank you, Jesus!
I'm actually speechless.
He is said because they've lost so much in sales.
I can shop at midnight.
And so many people have got onto them about Pennies.
Is that legal?
Yeah. Well, chain store Pennies could be open 24 hours a day after lockdown. It was revealed yesterday. Whoa!
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
That's it from the Colm and Lucy podcast. We'll have another podcast up next week. And remember, you can join us live on the radio. Radio Nova, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10.
The Colm and Lucy Podcast. Seriously addictive podcasting.
From Nova.ie and Radio Nova.